most of the people that I have on this television show are probably 20 years old, 30 years old, 40 years old, 50 years old, maybe even 60 or 70 years old. And I think I've even had some people in the 80s. But this is definitely the first time that we're having somebody who's 11 years old. I'd like to welcome Skylar Soares today. She's a very special young lady who has an interesting story to tell. Skylar, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
All right, Skylar, so you are a Make-A-Wish Foundation celebrity, right?
Yes.
And Make-A-Wish Foundation helps to grant wishes for people for children specifically, who have conditions that could be fatal, right? Could be terminal.
Yes.
And right now you're looking very healthy. You're sparkling in your pink and purple.
Thank you.
But you have, where you were given the chance to make a wish, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, you could have gone on a trip.
Yeah.
You could have gone to Disneyland.
Yeah.
What are some of the other things you could have done before we tell people what you actually chose?
Well, it could be anything from getting a pet or even going to the Australian savannah.
So you
or
had
African savannah, sorry. Or even going to Australia or any other continent you want. And my wish was to actually start a business here.
So you actually decided, instead of going on a trip or getting a pet, which a lot of kids like, but you are going to get a pet. We'll get into that later.
Mm-hmm.
A dog that will help you.
Yeah.
But you chose to open your own business. And what is your business called?
It's called High Sky.
High Sky, and it's on your hat there, and it's on your shirt. And basically, tell us why you thought it was so important to open a business which does what? We have all these hats here. What is it about?
Well, it's basically a business that does sun-safe hats, and it also does shirts, but I'm not sure those are sun-safe either, though. But the hats are strictly sun-safe. If it's not sun-safe, I don't pass them to be made. So I am the CEO and sole producer of this company, and I have a Make-A-Wish team that helps me with it. And what this company does is that it educates. It not only sells the hats, but it also educates people on what sun protection is and why it's so important, because in other continents that are so close to the equator, any continent you can think of that's close to the equator, it's mandatory to have sun-safe clothes, hats, all that. And teachers are actually educated on how to apply sunscreen before they even go into learning how to teach. So that's mandatory. And here, nobody really cares about it, but you can actually get skin cancer really severely bad from the sun if you're not protected.
Right. Okay, now tell us, so everybody's educated on this issue. What makes a sun-safe hat? Do you have a hat here that is sun-safe?
Yes.
Show me your hat.
This one.
And you made this, right?
I made it from fabric and a sewing machine. And what deems a hat sun-safe, it either needs to look like this, long bill and a flap in the back, or it needs to have a 3-inch brim all around the hat. That's what makes it sun-safe. There are no other hats that are sun-safe besides those two. And what I do is I take the shape of the hat, and I will either make it into an animal or something really cute, because hats nowadays, they're not really attractive. I mean, these kind of hats, they're just blank.
They're boring.
Yeah, they're boring, and they don't
plain.
look very nice. And some people are kind of skeptical on wearing them because they're not that cool. And I think that's another reason why people don't wear hats, is because they don't really look very attractive. And so my idea is to make the sun-safe hats, but also make them really cute, making kindergartners want to wear them, or high schoolers or 6th graders, or anybody at school, or anybody that's young, anybody would want to wear it, and they would be like, whoa, that hat is really cool, I need to get one. So, and pretty soon everybody's going to be wearing one, and then it'll protect everyone from harmful injuries from the sun.
Right, okay. So for your business, part of what happened was the Hawaii Pacific University students who have a group called, I think it used to be called SIFE, and now it's called something else. But basically it's a group that is it's a business group of kids who are very entrepreneurial. They know how to help you set up your business, and that's what they're doing, right?
Mm-hmm. They actually took time out of their finals to come to a meeting and help with me with the business, and there's a girl named Foily. She's really nice, and she actually helped my sister draw this hat. And
It's very cute.
So she drew it, and my sister drew this candy cane right here.
And your sister's how old?
She's 5. She's cute, and she can do a lot of things.
So you're the oldest of 3 kids. You have a brother?
I'm the oldest, yeah. I have a brother that's 5. I mean, that's 6. And I have a sister that's 5. And they are so nice to me. And she brought me this hat, and she's like, "Here, Skylar." And then I'm like, "Oh my gosh, thank you." And then, so I wore it the rest of the day.
It's a very nice hat.
It's really nice.
Before the show's over, we'll ask Keikoa to get a close-up of your hats, okay?
Okay.
So anyway, so you have this, so they have the Hawaii Pacific University. They're helping you set up a business plan.
Yes.
Come up with a prototype hat that you can market.
Yeah.
So, and also they're helping you with marketing.
Yes.
They're going to put on a fashion show for you.
Yes.
Right? Where you can get your friends to be models, and also you
Yes.
can get some real model, like high fashion
Real
kind of
models,
models that can wear. And you also had this past weekend, you had a class where your friends came and did what? Tell us about that.
It was a workshop, and anybody could come in, but they had to sign up first. Space was very limited. It wasn't a very big studio. So they could just come into the studio. It was free, and they could come in, make a hat from scratch, or they could use a hat and then just build off that. There was fabric, trims, laces. There were sewing machines that they would teach you how to use. You didn't even need to know how to use a sewing machine or how to make a hat. You just come in, they had patterns, they had everything. All you had to do was come in, ready to make something, and then the hats that were produced were really nice. I kind of wish I brought some.
They were, and well, this one in particular you did.
Oh yes, that
there,
was the
right?
one I did.
Yep. And then, so it's called, I think it was called Hi-Fi Co-op, and it's in the
Yes.
Ward Warehouse, and they let you come in, and the HPU students ran this event.
Yeah.
And basically you made several hats,
Yeah.
and then you're going to have more hats made so that you can put on this fashion show, I think in March.
I think that was more than 10, because all I needed was 10 for the fashion show. But it's going to be really hard to pick from those hats, and I've never seen so many people come in and make just one hat. I mean, it was really cool to see.
And also you had the Hawaii Pacific University students make a video for you.
Oh yeah.
Tell us about the video.
That video. Okay. The video is about a guy getting a tan, and he really doesn't know that he needs sun protection, like a hat and sunscreen, but even when you're getting a tan. So by the end of the video, he had to, it was too late for sunscreen. He needed water, medical attention. He had to go to the hospital. I mean, yeah, so you can get really dizzy if you don't get enough sun protection, because the sun will drain your energy, and if you don't have enough, you'll get dizzy. If you get dizzy, you'll bump to everything, and
Yeah.
then you have to go to the hospital.
So
if you
that's
don't
kind of
get
what your
enough.
video was about, was just kind of a
Yeah.
further education for people to tell them to be careful in the sun and to wear a hat and sunscreen.
Yeah, and my friends actually came in and actually participated, and one of my friends was like, that was really fun, and I'm like, well, I might have more, and they're like, can I do that one? And I'm like, okay.
So you're lucky because so many people have come around your idea and know how important it is and are helping you.
Yes.
So, okay, tell us a little bit about your history with your medical challenges, because since you were just a baby, you've had a lot of challenges with your medical problems, right? So tell us, because you look great right now, but so people might not know that you've had these challenges, but tell us a little bit about what you've gone through.
Okay, so since I was 2, I had to take this medicine called Atarax. And Atarax, it might make me dizzy, but I've kind of grown immune to dizziness. So when I was little, I used to call it white juice. And what it would do is that I had eczema, and I still have it now. It's chronic eczema, which I can never get rid of.
And that just makes you itchy.
It just makes me itchy. So I would take my medicine, and then within a few hours, I wouldn't be itchy. I have to take it every day, every 12 hours. So it's kind of funny. I called it white juice. My mom and dad was like, Skylar, come take your medicine. And I'm like, no. So they would be like, Skylar, come take your white juice. And I'll be like, okay. So
they knew how to work you, huh?
They knew how to persuade me into taking it. So.
Okay, good.
Yeah, and then.
And so then you had eczema, and
yeah, and then.
And what else?
In 2009. Like 4 years ago, when I was 7, in the 2nd grade, I was diagnosed with HLH, which is a very rare autoimmune disease of which nobody survives, and there's only 2 in the state, so it's kind of, it's really rare. So I went to sleep in class, Mom and Dad thinking that, oh, she's just tired, she didn't get enough sleep last night. Turns out, I passed out, I think. Yeah, and I couldn't get up. So I still remember it so vividly. We were doing a project, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. So I fell asleep. I was out. I couldn't get up. So I was rushed to the PICU, in which I got IVs. I got every single doctor except a foot doctor, which in hindsight, I think we should have seen that doctor because that really would have diagnosed me.
And you had 16 doctors at the time,
16,
right? Trying to figure out what was wrong with you.
Yeah, and they're like, well, it's not neurological, it's not optical, it's none of that. So every single doctor came in, which they didn't know what it was. So anybody, except for my mom and dad, I didn't know, not even my brother and sister, or my auntie and uncle, or anybody else. So I was lying down, I was like, who's that lady? And it was my Auntie Flora, and she started crying because I didn't even know my best friend's mom.
You didn't recognize anybody?
I didn't recognize anybody but my mom and my dad, which were solely, I don't even know anymore. So all the doctors came in, and then Tucker just happened to be visiting the PICU.
He's the hospital dog.
Hospital dog. He visits everybody in the hospital. By the time it's 5, he's home, which is, it's amazing.
So he's a regular worker at the hospital,
He's
and he came to visit
worker.
you.
Chief Canine Officer.
And what did he help to do?
He came over, did his visit on my hand. He put his little muzzle on my hand, and my hand twitched. So then all the doctors knew it wasn't neurological, it wasn't because of my eyes, because my eyes were like going upwards like that. So I've already had anointing of the sick. So
well, actually, something amazing happened to you, right?
Yeah.
And it's amazing that you are so grounded, and you've been through a lot. But tell me about the if you don't mind telling us, tell us about what you saw in the hospital and why you wanted your jump rope.
Oh yeah, I saw angels, and I don't know if that was because of the pumping steroids or if that was really there. But I saw angels, and they were only like that big. Mm-hmm. Which my past 4th grade teacher, she saw angels too, so we actually have something in common. So,
so what did they want? What did they say?
I'm like, Mom, they're calling me. Mm-hmm. Then she's like, what? And I'm like, the angels, they're calling me. I didn't really say the angels, but I'm like, them. So I didn't know what else to say. So I'm like, Mom, I want my purple jump rope. And then she's like, why? And she's like, they're calling me. And then I'm like, it's okay, Mom, I don't need it. So that's what I saw, and I thought it was really cool to see them. And I've had a lot of interviews that they ask me about the angels, and then I explain it, and then even my friends, they ask me like twice, and then I'm like, I say it again, and then they're like, wow, because they're amazed that I could see them.
Not too many people get the privilege of seeing them before they go to heaven, right?
Oh yeah, before.
So, okay, so you've been through all this, and how do you feel now? I mean, you've overcome some great odds, like you said, and you actually had another problem, another illness, right? Lupus.
I actually have class 3 and class 4. So I have both, which is really weird for me. So,
but you look so good, and you're so much energy, and I think you should be very proud of yourself for all the things you've accomplished and overcome. So tell me, what do you want to be when you get older?
I want to be a doctor.
You want to be a doctor. Now tell me, why do you want to be a doctor? In fact, there's a hat here. Oh yeah, here it is.
The one you got me.
Yep, you're going to be a future doctor. It says Skylar Soares, MD, medical doctor. Yep.
So I want to be a doctor for infectious disease because I kind of want to search for a cure for HLH because I don't want anybody to go through what I did because nobody really survives and they have more of a chance of dying.
And you already know so many medical terms, so you're going to ace medical school, no problem.
Thank you.
Right?
Well,
Now you have a very special doctor, so can you tell me about her, that she's helped you a lot? I know you have had at
I
least
have
16
a lot.
doctors, but tell me
At
about
least.
this one.
I have Dr. Mellish. She is a infectious disease. She is kind of like my health manager. So she's the one that thought of giving me IVIG, which it's basically 10,000 donors, 10,000 to 20,000 donors, blood donors, and they gotta take out the stuff I need, and then they put it in a bottle and crystallize it. If you drop that, that's 10,000 to 20,000 people. You need to get it from again.
Yeah.
So that.
You have to be very careful not to drop it, huh?
Yeah, and they actually dropped it once.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, and then it takes like hours to mix, in which it has to be the right concoction, and it has to be the right if there's anything off, something might go wrong.
So this will help. This helped you. This actually worked, right?
Yeah, I have it every 3 weeks.
Okay. Every 3 weeks. Wow, there's a lot of people in the world helping you
Yes.
get better, right?
Yeah, and I've actually seen like 8 dermatologists, of which the 9th one was the best, and it's Dr. Shannon Shu. She is a miracle skin doctor, and she actually gave me these 2 ointments, and I mixed them together, put them on my skin. My skin used to be all cracked up and bloody, and then I put it on, and then within a few weeks, my eczema was almost gone.
Wow, she's great too.
She's a
2 good
miracle.
doctors to talk about. So you can follow in their footsteps and be the next great doctor.
Yes, I hope so.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about school. You go to Marinol School.
I go to Marion.
And I went to Marinol School. Did you know that?
Yeah, my dad did too.
I know. He was very close to me in classes. He was a little older than me, though.
Yeah.
When we get to be this age, we have to take every day.
Yeah.
We have to cherish every day that we have.
Yeah.
But anyway, so you go to Marinol, and you've had to miss a lot of class.
Yeah, I've had to miss a lot. I've never had perfect attendance. I've never been tardy, but I've never had perfect attendance.
And so how's that been for challenging?
Well, it's been pretty challenging because I miss a lot of the fun stuff they do. Because Marinol, even though they usually have books, they do a lot of hands-on stuff. I mean, my science teacher, she just alone, at least every week, she does a lab. And a lab is where we take what we've learned and we do like a little simple project. So today was capture of the pinto beans. So what it is we had to pick up beans, count them in the hand, mark them, put them back, shake up the bag, pick up another handful, count the ones that are already marked, put them aside, and then count the ones that are in the hand. And then we had to see how many were in the entire population in the whole bag of beans. So that was really fun. It's like a really hands-on stuff. I like it.
So you have, so it's nice when you can go to school, and you have been able to go. But last year, I think your mom said at one point you missed about 60 days of school.
I think, well, on my report card, it actually shows how many times you have been absent, and I think I had like 100 something. I have at least 100 every year. And
so you have to be pretty smart to keep up with school that way.
Yeah, and hopefully this year will be different. I mean, so far I haven't had to go to the hospital on long stays that would make me miss school. So hopefully I can make it through the whole year.
Good. Okay. And what about the hospital is going to help you get a dog? Tell me about that.
Oh yeah, HICU, Hawaii Canines for Independence. Hawaii Canines for Independence, HCI, sorry. So they train either labs or golden retrievers. So I actually have a mix. So I have a lab retriever. So I will actually be getting one, and it takes 18 months for them to train just one.
And what will this lab help you do?
Well, this dog will help me get upstairs. It'll carry my books for me do like simple stuff, but it really helps because every time I get to class, my arms feel like they're gonna break off because the books are just so heavy. You can't use your bag. I mean, they won't let you use your bag because it's just too bulky. If everybody brought a bag, the whole room would be stuffed. So I'm gonna have it's gonna have little saddlebags which you can put my books in, and then it'll come with me everywhere, on the elevator, in the class, stuff everywhere. So
That's great.
yeah.
So pretty soon, huh? Do you know the name of your dog or what kind of dog you're getting?
I'm gonna get a golden. I'm gonna get a lab retriever because the original dog I was supposed to get is too distracted. So she's at a veteran home. So
Well, we have a dog that's a lab, and they're great dogs, so you're going to be in luck.
yeah.
So, okay, tell us a little bit about these hats now before we run out of time.
Okay.
Your
This-
favorite hats that you picked. You have lots of hats, but these
I
are
have
some you
lots.
picked, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
This one is very special to me because my best friend Alex.
Here, hold it up so they can see it on TV.
She's like 9,
Uh-huh.
but she's my best friend. I've known her since birth.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually there when she was born. So I actually got to hold her, and she gave me this hat when she came. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's really nice. And she's like, you want it? And I'm like, okay. So she put it on my head, and I'm like, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So this
Okay,
this
so
is
tell me
one of
about
my
the other ones. You already
favorites.
showed us this one. Maybe we can put it up on the TV. Show
Yeah,
you
this
the one.
one.
That's the one your sister made
sister
you with
made.
Foily from HPU.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and what about this one?
This one I got from the hospital. I colored it with fabric markers. And there's actually a surfer group, and they came the day before they had their surf contest on Maui. So they came, and they signed. I actually have a shirt at home too by them.
They came to visit you at the hospital?
Yeah, they came. They were at the playroom, so I was able to move. But some people aren't able to go out of their rooms, so they visited rooms too. But this I got from the thing.
So what about this one?
That one I made from a kit. I made this from a kit, and I used this colored glue.
Is that the
and
one
I
your
used
grandmother? Here,
this.
hold it up so people can see it. Is this the one your grandmother gave you, or
Oh no! I made this.
they made that completely, huh?
Yeah, I made it. Not the hat though, but just the stuff on it, and I really like it because it's like my creativity and it shows my personality.
Well, you're going to have a lot more hats coming up when you have your fashion show.
Yeah.
So when you do have your fashion show, what kind of hats are people going to be able to see if they get to come? Because I hear it's going to be at the Trump Tower, which is a
Yeah.
pretty fancy event.
Yeah, it's it's gonna be at the Trump Tower. It's gonna be really cool. But there's gonna be 10 fascinator hats, and fascinator hats are hats that were worn at Princess Kate's wedding. So there are gonna be 10 of those on the real models, and then I'm gonna have 10 sun-safe hats, which it'll show what my designs were, and yeah.
So what do you have to say to Make-A-Wish Foundation and HPU for coming together to help you, and actually a lot of other people?
Well, I just want to say thank you to all the people that are helping me, and I'm really grateful to them. They've done so much for me, and I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here right in this room if it wasn't for them, and if they didn't help me start my business. This actually started because at summer, I wanted to make money, so. I was like, no, all the ideas were bogus, so. And then this popped into my head when I was trying to choose a wish, and I was like, oh, this is perfect. I mean, it's not just for me making money, but it's also for donating and stuff. And,
Because you want to take some of your profits from your business and do what?
give it to, like, shelters, like the homeless shelter and Humane Society, because I love animals. And then they give some of the clothes to the clothing drive. Yeah, so those are my plans.
Some
for
of your
me.
clothes that you have, huh? So in terms of where you see this business going, if you get your way, what's going to happen with it?
Well, I see it profiting really well. And even if, like, I don't sell the hats really well, I can still, like, have people pay for classes, because I might host a class for teaching about sun safety, because not a lot of people know what I know about sun safety, because they just think, oh, it's the sun. I just wear a simple hat. It'll protect me. Or I just put on sunscreen. No. After 10 minutes without sunscreen or a hat, you're already overexposed. And within half an hour, every half an hour, you gotta start reapplying sunscreen.
And you had to learn all this because you can't go in the sun without a hat on and suntan
or
lotion.
sunscreen.
Mm-hmm.
So every time before school, I also bring a small bottle of sunscreen with me. So every time before school, I will put on sunscreen. Next half an hour, I put on another. Next half an hour, I put on another.
Now, do you think people in Japan or in Australia or who knows where else, in England, might have a high sky hat?
Maybe. From what I hear, they might.
I think you could go worldwide. Why not?
Yeah,
right? Have the right marketing campaign from the Hawaii Pacific University and you'll be fine.
Well, they have some pretty amazing ideas. I can't wait to see what they come up with next.
Yeah. So what do you have any final thoughts you want to tell people? Make sure they know about you?
Well, just because I'm saying all this stuff, don't prevent yourself from going in the sun. Just put on a hat, like at least this kind of hat. This hat isn't really sun safe, but it'll give you a little bit of protection. Or just go out with sunscreen. And bring a bottle of sunscreen with you so you can reapply every half an hour. I mean, still play in the sun, just don't go that often. I mean, if you do go that often, just remember to put on sun protection.
And then sometimes you can go earlier in the morning or later in the afternoon, right? So you're not there in the peak times of day. There's all kinds of things you can do to be sun safe, right?
Yeah, like 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock, it's about the time. 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock, it's about the time that the sun is like at high in the sky
hot, huh?
and really hot, so I wouldn't recommend going then, unless you're at the beach.
Yeah, okay. All right, so you're going to be having your fashion show soon, and then maybe we'll definitely follow your business along and see how you're doing with your Make-A-Wish.
Okay.
And, we look forward to seeing you become a doctor, and then we'll have you back on the show.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right, so how can people find out more about your hats? Are you going to eventually have your own website?
Yes, we're still trying to figure out on the website because, different dot somethings will cost.
Right, different amounts. Well, for now, we'll put something on Hawaii Reporter, and people can check that out, okay? All right, well, thank you for coming on the show. It's been fun to talk to you, and congratulations on all your success.
Thank you.
This has been News Behind the News. Thank you for joining us. Aloha.